Welcome to Script Snap. Today, we're diving into the post-apocalyptic world of Reign of Fire. The story begins at a London construction site where a young boy named Quinn descends deep underground to visit his mother, Karen, the project lead. When a worker reports a mysterious obstruction in a newly excavated tunnel, Karen leaves Quinn behind to investigate. Curiosity gets the better of the young boy. He wanders toward the void, where a worker, hoping to avoid the dirty work himself, convinces Quinn to crawl into the narrow cavern with nothing but a flashlight. As Quinn explores the dark, damp cave, he reaches out to touch a strange, organic wall. In an instant, the shadows come alive. A massive dragon lunges from the darkness. Quinn flees in a panic, reaching his mother just as a low, guttural rumble shakes the earth. Suddenly, the cavern erupts into a wall of fire. Karen pushes Quinn into the elevator, desperately activating the lift to save her son. Through the roar of the flames, the dragon emerges, staring down at the terrified pair before it rockets toward the surface. In the aftermath of the chaos, Quinn realizes the horrific truth. He has survived, but his mother is gone. Years pass, and the world we knew is in ruins. Dragons now rule the skies, and humanity has been pushed to the brink of extinction. We find an adult Quinn leading a small, starving community in a fortified castle in England. Tensions are high. A man named Eddie, driven to the edge by hunger and fear, decides to take his chances outside the walls. Along with a small group of followers, Eddie attempts to steal the community's unripe crops and flee. Quinn confronts him, confiscating his keys and warning him that leaving now is a death sentence for everyone. But Eddie won't be stopped. Under the cover of darkness, he and his crew sneak out to the plantation to harvest what they can. From the watchtower, the guards spot the scavengers and alert Quinn, but it's already too late. The silence of the night is broken by a familiar, terrifying sound. A dragon sweeps down from the clouds, incinerating the fields and trapping Eddie's crew in a ring of fire. Just as all hope seems lost, Quinn arrives, leading a rescue attempt. They are nearly cut off by a devastating inferno that swallows their lead vehicle whole, forcing a frantic, narrow escape back to the safety of the fortress. Safe for the moment, Quinn speaks with his friend Creed. Despite the betrayal, Quinn's heart is heavy. He knows Eddie's desperation isn't just about hunger. It's about the grief of a father who has already lost his son to the fire. Back at the base, the air is thick with tension. While Creed believes Eddie got what he deserved, Quinn is haunted by a nagging thought. Eddie might have been right about their survival all along. The debate is cut short when the watchtower spots two heavily armored vehicles approaching the gates. Despite their dwindling resources, Quinn and Creed scramble their men into battle positions, bracing for an attack from what they assume are American marauders. As the tanks grind to a halt, a man climbs down, moving with the arrogant confidence of a predator. He introduces himself as Van Zandt, a Kentucky irregular from the National Guard. He claims he's looking for a place to recuperate after heavy losses, but Quinn isn't buying the story. Just as Quinn prepares to turn them away, Van Zandt produces a trophy, a massive, serrated dragon tooth. He recounts the story of how he brought the beast down, proving he's found a way to fight back. Reluctantly, Quinn opens the gates, but he keeps his guard up. Inside the fortress, Quinn meets the rest of the crew, including Alex, a daring pilot from the U.S. Cavalry, and the Archangels skydivers who serve as literal human bait to lure dragons into the kill zone. Quinn is impressed but wary, pulling Creed aside to ensure their guests are watched at all times. They don't have to wait long for a test. A dragon is spotted on the horizon, and the alarm blares. While Quinn's men scramble, the Americans move with practiced, icy calm. Quinn watches from a distance as the Archangels take to the sky, but things quickly go south. Their 3D mapping tech fails, leaving Alex flying blind against a predator that thrives in the clouds. Seeing Alex in danger, Quinn forgets his caution. He mounts his horse and races toward the crash site of the mapping device. He deploys the beacon just in time, giving the crew eyes on the beast. But the hunt turns bloody. The dragon shreds through the Archangels, picking them off one by one. In a moment of pure desperation, Van Zandt shouts for Quinn to act as the bait. Quinn doesn't hesitate. He gallops across the open plain, with the dragon hot on his heels. As he nears the armored transport, Van Zandt fires a massive harpoon. The projectile whistles past Quinn's head, impaling the dragon and bringing it crashing to the earth. The castle erupts in cheers as the victors return, but Van Zandt isn't celebrating. He reminds the survivors that the victory cost him 3 good men, his grief turning into cold fury. Later, Alex reveals a startling discovery. The dragon they killed was a female. She theorizes that there is only one male, a great bull, responsible for the entire species. If they kill the male in London, the race dies out. Van Zandt demands that Quinn and his men join the suicide mission to the city. Quinn refuses. He knows that leading a war party to London will only bring the dragon's wrath back to his people. Furious, Van Zandt storms off, leaving Alex to wonder why the man who just risked his life as bait is now unwilling to finish the fight. In the quiet after the hunt, Quinn finally reveals the truth to Alex. London is the tomb of his mother, and he isn't ready to face those ghosts. But outside, the drums of war are already beating. Van Zandt is rallying the men, preparing to march on the city. Quinn rushes out to stop him, and the confrontation turns violent. The two men clash in a brutal, one-sided brawl. Van Zandt, a seasoned warrior, quickly overpowers Quinn, leaving him beaten and bloodied on the ground. Alex breaks up the fight, but the damage is done. Van Zandt and his army depart for London, leaving a defeated Quinn behind. As Alex prepares to follow, she shares a lingering, silent moment with Quinn, a spark of connection in a dying world. Quinn's authority continues to crumble. Even his young ward, Jared, prepares to join the Americans. When Quinn tries to stop him, Jared delivers a stinging blow. "You're not my father." Quinn can only watch as the convoy disappears into the horizon. As night falls over the ruins of London, the wind shifts. Van Zandt senses a change in the air. He orders the column to halt, peering into the thick smog. He knows they aren't alone. Suddenly, an explosion rocks the line. The great bull, the male dragon, has found them. Van Zandt screams for his men to open fire, but the beast is a force of nature. It sweeps through the ranks, turning the armored convoy into a graveyard of twisted metal and ash. In the aftermath, Alex returns to find a grim scene. Van Zandt is the lone survivor. But the nightmare isn't over. The dragon isn't staying to fight. It's heading for the one place Quinn calls home. Back at the castle, the horror comes full circle. The dragon descends, bathed in the orange glow of its own fire. Quinn, racing back on horseback, arrives to find his sanctuary in flames. Inside, Creed is desperately leading the evacuation. Quinn plunges into the smoke, navigating the crumbling halls to pull survivors from the wreckage. He carries the young and the wounded to the safety of the underground bunkers. Driven by a need to save everyone, Quinn prepares to head back into the inferno, but Creed stops him. "I'll go," Creed insists, stepping back into the heat. It's a fatal choice. The dragon perches atop the castle ruins like a dark king. It draws a massive breath and exhales a continuous stream of liquid fire, incinerating everything in its path. Quinn watches in helpless agony as Creed, his closest friend and ally, is swallowed by the flames. The boy who lost his mother to the fire has now lost his home, and the battle for survival has become a quest for pure, cold revenge. Deep in the bunkers, surrounded by the echoes of destruction, Quinn kneels among the terrified children. To drown out the sound of the dragon's roar, he leads them in a rhythmic recitation of their survival oath, a small spark of order in the middle of chaos. The following morning, a voice calls out from the rubble. Van Zandt and Alex have returned. Standing amidst the ruins of his castle, Quinn looks at the survivors and realizes there is no more hiding. The three of them, the survivor, the slayer, and the pilot, form an uneasy alliance to hunt the great bull in the heart of London. They strike during the magic hour, the brief window at dawn when a dragon's vision is weakest. They fly low, landing on a rusted platform overlooking a city reclaimed by nature. Thousands of smaller dragons swarm the ruins like locusts until a thunderous roar shakes the buildings. It is the male. At his command, the lesser dragons scatter, leaving the great bull alone. For the first time, the odds have shifted. 3 hunters against 1 king. Guided by Quinn's childhood memories, they descend into the London underground, navigating the dark tunnels to reach the original construction site. Before they emerge, Van Zandt takes the high-explosive arrows from Alex. The plan is simple but suicidal. They must hit the dragon in the split second before it breathes fire, striking the soft tissue of its throat when it is most vulnerable. On the surface, the hunt begins. Quinn draws the dragon's attention, sprinting through the debris, but a near miss from the beast's talons sends him tumbling, and he loses his grip on the explosive bolts. High above on a crumbling chimney, Van Zandt takes his position. He watches as the dragon turns its fury toward Alex. To save her, Van Zandt bellows a challenge, drawing the beast's eyes to him. He levels his crossbow, weight NG for the glow in the dragon's throat. He fires. The bolt explodes against the dragon's face, stunning it, but the wound isn't fatal. Out of ammunition and seeing the end, Van Zandt draws his massive battle axe. With a final, defiant scream, he leaps from the chimney toward the dragon's jaws. He is gone in an instant. Quinn and Alex scramble through the ash, reuniting behind a scorched wall. Alex spots the lost arrows near a rusted truck, and Quinn makes a desperate break for them. As he fumbles to load the crossbow, the dragon looms over him, ready to incinerate the last of the slayers. Alex creates a distraction, pulling the beast's focus just long enough for Quinn to lock the bolt into place. Quinn stands his ground, He stares into the eyes of the monster that took his mother, his home, and his friends. The dragon opens its maw, the fire building in its gullet. Quinn pulls the trigger. The explosion is deafening. The great bull erupts from the inside out, its rain of fire ending in a shower of sparks and bone. Sometime later, the world is quiet. Quinn stands atop a new communications tower, looking out over a horizon that is finally clear of smoke. Alex joins him, wondering aloud if this peace can truly last. Quinn doesn't have the answer, but as they look toward the future together, for the first time in 20 years, the sky belongs to humanity again. If you enjoyed this journey through the ashes, please subscribe to ScriptSnap. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a story, and let us know what film we should cover next in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.